Avoid the fury of the beast. A lesson from nature. In a remarkable video, a man confronts a massive elephant. Despite the elephant's immense size, the man repeatedly strikes it with a small rod. Eventually, the elephant retaliates, shoving the man to the ground and crushing him in a moment of rage, resulting in the man's death. Instantly, this tragic event underscores a critical lesson about the use of power and authority. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 says, "Then God said, let us make man in our own image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animal, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Every human being is a leader at a certain degree or level. Every human being is endowed with a degree of authority, as I said. We are entrusted with dominion over the earth. However, despite our significant capabilities, we must exercise this power with humility and respect for all creation. The lesson from this video is clear. We must learn to respect nature and everything God has placed under our stewardship. We are custodians of God's power. Abusing our power inevitably will lead to consequences. Humans, despite our intelligence and spiritual gifts, are physically weaker than many animals and susceptible to even the smallest germs, which means that God just chooses us. Our dominion, then, is not meant to be exercised through brute force or cruelty, but through wise and compassionate stewardship. We are engraced. We have grace. Let's use it well. Proverbs 12:10 says, "The righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel." Even God knows that we must care for our animals. This principle extends to all realms of authority. Employers must treat their employees with respect and fairness. Overbearing behavior can lead to a backlash that ultimately harms the employer. Colossians chapter 4 verse 1 says, "Master, provide your slaves with what is right and fair, because you know that you also have a master in heaven." Landlords should ensure the well-being of their tenants, fostering a positive and supportive environment rather than exploiting their positions. Husbands must cherish and love and respect their wives and children, recognizing the grace given to them as heads of their household. Abuse of this authority, as many do, can lead to severe consequences, and it will lead, according to the law of retribution. Ephesians 5:25 says, "Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." The Bible offers numerous examples of the consequences of abusing authority. Laban mistreated Jacob for 20 years, only to have his wealth transferred to this same Jacob by divine intervention. Pharaoh of Egypt enslaved the Israelites and met his end in the Red Sea. Saul, after pursuing David relentlessly, died a tragic death. The same David replaced him as a king. Romans 12:19, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, 'It is mine to avenge, and I will repay,' says the Lord." This is written for those suffering mistreatment, thinking that they will take revenge one day. Remember that vengeance belongs to God. Taking revenge into your own hands, compromises your innocence, and invites punishment upon yourself. The elephant in the story, despite its reaction to abuse, will likely face their consequence as well. It's likely going to be killed because it's no longer safe to have such elephants around. Ecclesiastes 3:17 says, I said to myself, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. This message serves one purpose: to remind us to treat people and all of creation well. Abuse of power leads to inevitable repercussions, and respecting our roles as stewards ensures harmony and justice. And before rounding up, remember this: if you take power into your hands and appropriate justice, the grip of the law will not make you go scot-free. God has a design, He has a system that takes care of injustice of leaders, whether in politics, in government, or in any sphere of life. Leave judgment to God. And this message also speaks volumes to our politicians who believes that they can still corrupt themselves, take the loot to their home. There's a law of recompensation or retribution that stands knocking at every door of those who abuse power. And always remember, those who are given authority and power are merely custodians of this opportunity, of this grace, on behalf of God, to take care of God's inheritance upon the earth. This message is for the world changers, so that you can become truly a light bearer to your world, a transformation ambassador of God, a creator of heaven on earth. Appropriate this message, share it wider for others to benefit from. Thank you.